From high school dropout to real estate investor. Hey guys, I wanted to share this story with you today. It's something that I hold dear to myself. I feel like it can resonate with a lot of people. There's a stigma out there that people think that, well, if you dropped out of high school, that you're not going to be successful. But I'd like to say that that's not true. I want to give you the story. Let's kind of start at the top here. So when I was in school, things started about 15 years old is when things started kind of clicking. I'm sure if you have kids, you probably have your kids tell you, I hate school, I don't want to go, why do I have to do this? Especially as they get older, they start asking those kind of questions. Well, it's not abnormal. So I was 15 years old, I was sitting in math class, and I remember the teacher on the overhead projection was showing different math, algebra equations, and it was like negative and positive. And I was looking at this and I was going, man, like, why am I doing this? Like, I knew at that time I wanted to open up a Jujitsu Academy. Like, that was my dream. When I was 13 years old, I hit 14 and I thought, man, I want to open a Jiu-Jitsu school. And that was my dream, was to teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to kids for a living. I loved doing it. So as I said in math class, I thought, man, this is bogus. Why am I even doing this? Like, I'm wasting my time. Everything I need to know is at the Jiu-Jitsu Academy. So that's when things started to kind of click, like, or started to change. I started thinking, well, why do I need to know this? And so, that path of why am I here began. But it really clicked in, and the next part was I spent a lot of summers around my jiu-jitsu instructor. I spent from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. For many summers. I would be at the Jujitsu Academy. Well, one day we were riding in the car and he began to play Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why am I even, like, dude, can you just turn the radio on? Like, what is this bogus audiobook you're doing, right? And, he knew I wanted to open an academy. And he himself had opened an academy, and he was like, hey, if you're gonna open a business, there's some things you need to know. And I thought, all right. So he's playing this, and I hear Rich Dad Poor Dad talking about assets and liabilities. I hear him talking about how to managing money and the importance of being financially literate. A lot of those things, some things that aren't, and things that aren't taught in school. And as he started saying that line, like, these are the things that aren't taught in school, I thought to myself, I'm like, man, like, okay, so they're not teaching this in school, and I don't like school. And I don't think I need school because I want to open a Jiu-Jitsu Academy, so let's listen in. So I started listening in, right? I kind of paid a little more attention, and he's talked about the concept of the rat race. And if you don't know what the concept of the rat race is, it's basically, it's what most of us do. Most people do. They get up, they go to work, they work really hard to pay a bunch of bills and buy a bunch of crap to impress a bunch of people that don't even care. And they go to sleep and they do it over again and up and over again. And they get stuck and they never get a chance to retire. And I remember hearing that in Rich Dad Poor Dad about retiring young. And I thought, man, I'm like, I think I was like 16 years old at the time. And I thought, man, that would be really cool if I could just retire young and just do what I want. Like, how that would be awesome. So I really started tuning into what Rich Dad Poor Dad was saying. And one of the other things was spending time around mentors. That was the next thing. So I spent a lot of time around guys who were doing what I wanted to do. And at that time, it was a jiu-jitsu. I wanted to do jiu-jitsu for a living, and I was spending my time at the academy and learning. I taught for free. I never got paid really to teach jiu-jitsu. I didn't even care. I'd mop the mats, clean the toilets. I just worked for free. I was like, please let me work for free. And I did, and I learned I was answering phones. I just did everything I could to get my hands on learning what I needed to know in order to open my own school. A lot of my friends at that age were out there getting a job. They were doing certain things, and so I wasn't doing that. It was basically just honing my craft and learning what I could. So I didn't care about money. I cared about learning. So I spent time around people that were doing the things that I wanted to do, and that allowed me to learn the things I needed to learn. So kind of going back to that, I wanted to retire young. I spent time around people. it was a different 16-year-old. Most people at 16 aren't thinking about that. They're, especially dudes, they're wanting fast cars and chasing fast girls. Like that's pretty much all they really care about, right? But I remember the moment where, going through school, especially after I heard Rich Dad Poor Dad, I thought to myself, there's no way. Like, why am I even here? Now I really am like, why am I here? After listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad, I thought, man, I don't even need to be in school anymore. This is horrible. And, I started slacking off, whatnot. But I remember the moment that it hit was, I had a teacher one day. I was kind of a cut up, and I remember a teacher told me, she said, why don't you drop out of school? And I looked at her and I thought, man, that's a really good idea. But little did she know that I'm an action taker, right? She's probably being like, oh, just drop out. But no, the next day, I'll never forget, my mom walked in. I walked into my room. I was passed out. It was, I was late for school. And she's like, honey, do you want to do you want to just sign out? You want to just drop out? And she gave me a pass to drop out. Now, most people would think that, mom is like, that's crazy. Your mom's going to sign you out. My mom signed me out of high school at 17 years old, right? And and it was one of those things that it was probably one of the best decisions. What it did a couple things. It's what I call burning your ships. Okay, I'm going to give a quick little story on this story. Is that there is a story about a general who basically goes out. It's like a long time ago. He goes they go across to go to war. And they turn around, they burn their ships. And they say, hey, we're going to either die here, right? Or we're going to succeed. And that was it. So I did that. I said, I'm either going to die here trying, or I'm going to succeed. And I'm going to burn all my ships. And I signed out of high school. And I was 17 years old. Like I've posted the other day, I got a crappy job, pushing wheelchairs, had to experience that. But from there, I began to do even more spending time around the mentors, right? So fast forward a little bit more, I found other mentors. I had another mentor that helped me learn business. We trade Jujitsu for business. But at 19 years old, okay, I opened my first business. Guys, I was too dumb to fail. That's what it was. Because the thing about school, right, and the reason why I was like, I don't want to be here is I watched so many people get turned into a box where they're like, school is designed and developed to develop employees. That's what it does. But I knew I didn't want to do that. Okay? I knew that I wanted more, right? So I opened my first business when I was 19 years old. I knew nothing about it. I was like, hey, you know what? Doing medical records looks like fun. I think I can do that. And I built it. I built that business up. When that business became no fun, it was a great start. I learned a lot of things from it. But when that business became no fun, I decided it was time to shut it down, and I knew that I wanted to go into opening my academy. So at 23 years old, I opened up my martial arts academy, and from there, obviously, we still have the academy, but that's how it started, and that's what happened. I'm not here to talk trash about school. I have very strong views on traditional education and things like that. But what I am saying is that I knew that because, backing up, because of Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of the biggest things they talked about was developing passive income and retiring young. And it was going to be through either business, but passive income was going to be through real estate. And that's where my interest in real estate came, was from Rich Dad Poor Dad. I was thinking, man, passive income, I want to do that. So that was a thing. The first business was at 19. The second business I opened up, I was 23 years old. I've had that business for years now, the Martial Arts Academy. But throughout all that time, I knew there was one thing, and I see this happen to a lot of martial arts coaches and a lot of martial arts instructors that don't do this, or business owners in general don't do this. They don't think about retirement. They're in the middle of the mix because you're in the grind and you're like, man, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go do this. But the last thing on your mind is retirement. Guys, I've been thinking about retirement and how I want to retire since I was 16 years old. The moment I got introduced to retirement, I was thinking about it. I remember asking my friends, hey guys, how do you guys plan to retire? We're at 16, 17, and they not only they make fun of me for dropping out, but they made fun of me for thinking about retirement. They're like, oh, I don't need all of that. They thought I was crazy. I'm not that crazy anymore now, am I, guys? Right? So developing passive income was a big thing to me, and we used retirement to do that, or we used real estate to do that. That was our vehicle, our mode. My message here, guys, is this: all through this time, I'll never forget getting made fun of. My friends would talk trash to me. Oh, you're a high school dropout. You dropped out of high school. And I was always the ass end of a joke all the time from my close friends because I dropped out of high school. They make fun of me. I didn't care. And that's why I said, like, this message is two things. One, it's worry about your retirement. You need to do that, right? But two, more importantly, blaze your own path, man. Blaze your own path. Like, don't worry about what other people think. I don't care what other people think. I didn't care what other people think then. And it's paid off tremendously, right? It's paid off tremendously. And then we've done that through, being a business owner and being and being a real estate investor, and obviously, through real estate. My thing is blaze your own path. Don't worry about what other people think. And look forward to the future, right? Look ahead, think, I've got to get to there, and spend your time, blazing your own path and what's right for you. And don't worry about other people, right? So anyhow, guys, if you don't know this already, I am, my wife, Misty, and I, we are real estate investors. We are realtors as well. And then, of course, we are business owners too. But we like to help others. We love helping others. I'm a real estate buff. I love helping other people with real estate. I can talk about it all day long. Obviously you guys see in there that, we do have a free group that we have. I'd love for you to join me if real estate is something that you're interested in, and, your story might be similar to mine where you're like, man, I blazed my own path. I wanted to do more for myself. I wanted to retire younger. This is the way that we did it, and I have a lot of great, solid, fundamental, long-term real estate strategies that we do, from rentals and things like that will help you build a solid, fundamental portfolio of real estate, passive income that helps you. And again, it's a free group. It's just something my wife and I have put together. We love doing it, and we love to help you. So, join that group. We'd love to assist you with that. But, other than that, man, my goal was to help people get out of the rat race. It's been like that since I was 16. I loved sharing the information that we knew. So, guys, invest in yourself, invest in your future, blaze your own path, and remember this: just because you dropped out of high school doesn't mean you can't be successful, because you can. And the last thing people ever ask you is, where'd you graduate from? I've never had a client ask me that question, and quite frankly, they don't care. People care, are you an expert in your field? Do you know what you're talking about? And if you have that, you're going to be solid. So anyhow, guys, blaze your own path, worry about your retirement, get that thing squared away, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Join the free group. Just click on it and join us, guys. We'd love to see you there. You guys, I will catch you guys next time.